celebrate. Time to make it your Volvo. Your Volvo holiday sales event. Right now, lease your Volvo S60 T5 for $399 a month and pay nothing at signing.
I'd like a nice cold beer.
I could use a couple of hours out here, too.
Oh, yeah, I'll get my keys.
No, you don't. I'll call a yellow cab. 777-7777.
The yellow cab.
President Obama is blasting House Republicans for rejecting legislation that would have extended the payroll tax cut and jobless benefits for another 2 months. The president made a brief appearance in the White House briefing room after the vote. He said the compromise was the only way to prevent a tax hike as of January 1st, and that it could endanger the country's fragile economic recovery. House Republicans, though, say they want a year-long plan. Now, both sides are battling to position themselves as the biggest advocate of the extension and blaming the other for taxes going up in January.
This all seems like a political game of chicken with taxpayers possibly holding the bag here. How can this can't-miss issue miss by a mile? Let's bring in NBC Bay Area's political analyst Larry Gerston. What's happening here, Larry? This seemed like this would go through without a problem, at least seemingly, a few months ago.
Seemingly. You know, with an election year around the corner, well, everyone in Congress wanted to play Santa. Two sets of problems got in the way. First, how to pay the $180 billion tab. Democrats wanted to add a 3.5% tax surcharge to those making $1 million or more annually. Now, Republicans didn't see it that way. They wanted to take the money from existing programs and government payrolls. Second problem, the bill's contents. House Republicans insisted on a provision forcing President Obama to decide on a Keystone pipeline. That's that controversial project that would move tar sands turned oil from Canada deep into the U.S. for refining. The Democrats, however, looked at it differently. They were very divided on this issue. You know, they wanted to put it off separately until after the next election. You put these two problems together, Raj, and together it's like lighting a match in a paper mill.
Seems unbelievable here, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, most Americans would get a $1,000 tax savings here. Each House voted to extend this payroll tax, so why isn't it not going through?
Well, as we said earlier, the House voted for a year-long extension, which is what the president asked for. Of course, he didn't want that Keystone pipeline bit in there. Meanwhile, the Senate, unable to agree on a long-term plan and all the fine print with it, voted 89-10. That's amazing. That's bipartisan, to fund the payroll tax for 2 months. That would have given them time to iron out the issues with each other in the House as well as with themselves, and that's what happened. Now, the Senate then adjourned, leaving the House the choice of accepting the Senate version or rejecting it altogether, which is exactly what happened today. So the House has said no, at least for now.
And yes, there we go, that famous no for now. So is this dead or alive? And I would imagine they're going to have to come to some sort of agreement soon.
You know, it would seem it's dead the way everybody's talking right now. But remember, the Senate's left town. But look, there are three possibilities for maybe saving this deal. First, the House can reconsider and pass the Senate bill, unlikely given all the egos on both sides. Second, the House can signal a compromise attractive enough to the Senate so that one of its members will be authorized to vote on behalf of the Senate for that compromise. Somewhat unlikely, but maybe possible. Third, the House and Senate return either after Christmas or January 3rd and quickly vote on a compromise. If I had to bet a dollar, not $10,000, mind you, I'd put an option on option 3. Still, for now, it's just another reason for the public to growl at Congress. Meanwhile, something else is happening. President Obama's standing with the public has shot up, if for no other reason, because he appears to be the only adult in the room.
Okay, thank you, Larry Gerston, for your insight.
All right, let's talk about local politics. It now appears that the mayor of Oakland may be facing not one, but 2 recall drives. Signatures are being gathered for one recall petition already, and another was submitted to the city clerk's office just today. Oakland City Attorney has ruled that 2 recall petitions can be circulated at the same time, but only the first one to get 19,000 plus signatures will actually count. Mayor Jean Quan says she plans to fight any and all recall efforts.
But it doesn't take that much to get 10% of the signatures. So unfortunate for me, I'm concerned that divides the city. It's a distraction at a time. I'm trying to do a lot of really tough things.
Union leaders have pledged to help the mayor stay in office, but if those behind the petitions are successful, voters will make the call on whether Kwan stays or goes.
A lot of people in the Bay Area are very interested in this story. North Korea releasing rare footage today of the body of former leader Kim Jong-il lying in state.
Janelle Wang is here with some of today's international headlines for us. Janelle?
Yeah, Jessica and Raj, a steady stream of thousands of mourners are coming to pay their respects in the capital city of Pyongyang. That includes Kim Jong-il's son and new leader, Kim Jong-un. He came with the rest of the North Korean leadership. The body of Kim is on display in the same mausoleum that houses the remains of his father, the nation's founder, Kim Il-sung. North Korea will hold a state funeral next Wednesday and said no foreign delegates would be invited, not even from longtime ally China. In Beijing today, Chinese President Hu Jintao visited the North Korean embassy to pay his respects.
China is obviously quite nervous